Lauren.
Hi, Burl. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Oh, am I slouching?
You are not slouching.
Oh, okay. I got to roll them shoulders
Roll your
back.
shoulders back. Keep good posture.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right.
So what are we talking about today?
Geography
Geography.
and GIS. I'm not sure what
Yes.
GIS stands for. Do you know? Let me look it up.
Geographical Information Systems.
Oh, that
I also
sounds
just
good.
pulled that one out of somewhere in there.
Oh, I'm going to look it up, make sure you're right.
But what I do know is that we do have a few resources in the library on geography resources. So
GIS. Oh, you're right. Geographic Information System.
hey,
All right.
come on, inference.
There we go. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
You got my questions and you don't want to guess. I got a recommendations and that I can suggest. Yes, this library questions that are part of request. Here's Burl and Laura with instruction request.
Hey, Ospreys. My name is Lauren Odom, and I'm the instruction librarian.
And I'm Burl Whitebang. I am the virtual learning librarian in the Thomas G. Carpenter Library.
And we are Instruction Requests, where we talk about common research questions, helpful resources,
and innovative and immersive technology in the Thomas G. Carpenter Library.
All right. So
today we're talking about geographic information systems and geography.
Yes. All right, because we have a little bit of something for everybody.
Great.
The first thing we'll talk about is the research question of the day. And it doesn't have anything to do with geography, but it is one of those common ones that I've been seeing coming through the lip chat. And we ran into a student in person yesterday with the same issue. So I figured let's go ahead and address it. And we're having students that are having issues getting their Osprey 1 card. They don't know whether or not they need it to enter the library. They don't really know where to go on campus to get it. And so you do need your Osprey 1 card to enter the library. Now, you can enter the library as a guest by presenting a valid ID card at the gate. However, you will not be able to access any of the resources in terms of checking out resources, even if those are course reserve materials. So if you need to borrow a book, check out a course reserve, check out a laptop or any of those items, you will need your Osprey 1 card. And the Osprey 1 card office is located next to Chick-fil-A in the Lazara building, I believe. That's the Lazara building.
I'm not sure.
There's a little plaza just beyond the library where you can go and get your Osprey 1 card
It's right
printed.
next to Chick-fil-A, though.
Yes.
I'm not sure the name of the building, but it's right next to Chick-fil-A.
Yes. So please, students, if you have not gone to get your Osprey 1 card taken and printed, you can go and do that so that you can access all the things that the library has to offer to you with no issues.
Because we have a lot of new and exciting things happening in the library that we can't talk about. But we do have a lot of new and exciting things getting ready
There are
to
a few
happen.
things coming down the pipeline.
Yes.
They will be revealed in time for sure. So what's going on in instruction?
What's going on in instruction? Well, the research party will be
February the 13th, Thursday.
February the 13th. That's where you students can come into the library. If you have a research question, all of the librarians will be in 2102A and B, and have your questions answered. We'll be there to take on your questions. We'll also have a lifts table there. And we'll have, I think, a couple of other organizations around campus will be there. So special invitation to our transfer students. Please come to the research party. In addition to the research party, we still are pushing the research prize.
Yes.
I had a question come through today where a student asked if she could submit something that she did in 2023. But the eligibility requirements state that the project has to have been completed in the past 12 months. So what we're saying is spring of 2024. If you did something in spring of 2024, the summer or the fall, or you're doing something this semester, spring 2025, it's eligible for that $1,000 prize. And that's graduate and undergraduate. We're having 2 prizes, one for graduate and one for undergraduate, $1,000 each. On January 27th, library open office hours started, and that's where the 6 of us in instruction set up in Zoom in our Zoom room, our Lyft Zoom room, and we're there for you if you need any kind of help. So what that means is you're in the library, you're doing research, you're working on your research prize application, or you're doing some research and you need help from a librarian and you need your answer right away. Then you check the library's calendar of events. Not only is Instruction Request Podcast on that calendar, but the link to the Zoom room is also there with the time that the librarian is going to be there. At least 2 librarians are available per day on Tuesday and Wednesday, and on Monday and Friday. Yeah. No. Yeah. What is it, Lauren? Let me see. On Monday, we have Deborah Williams. She's in the Zoom room from 11 to 1. And then on Tuesday, you have Sarah and Lauren. So that's 2 on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, it's Lauren and I. And on Thursday is Danny Feinberg. So he'll be in his room from 8 to 10 on Thursday. So at many times throughout the week, we will be available for you to just drop into that Zoom room, and you can find the Zoom room on the library calendar of events. And we just finished up Pulley, which is pop-up library instruction.
Yes. So we would have been in the Writing Center and Student Academic Support Services. So this is something that we do 2 weeks before midterms. So if you're seeing this and you're needing some support in that 2 weeks period before finals, you can catch us in the Writing Center and in SAS as well. And we will also be doing Pulley in the library. So we will have a location in the building where you can just walk up to a librarian and get some face-to-face support if you need. So we're just working on different ways to reach our student community since we don't have a reference desk. So that way you all can have access to us in different ways.
Wonderful.
Yes. So keep your eye out on the library calendar. That really is the main thing there. So today we're going to kind of cover some of the resources we have for geography. So I wanted to talk about one of our library databases called GeoRef. And if you will put that, thank you, Andy. Yeah. So GeoRef Andy is the best. Okay. GeoRef is one of our ProQuest databases. You can access this through the database list link on the main library webpage and go to the G's. You can also go to the environmental studies drop-down menu. But this is the interface of that database, and here you can look up a variety of subjects, as you can see on the list, from economic geology, engineering geology, environmental geology, and do a variety of studies. If you needed help developing some strategies for keywords and search strings in this database, you can feel free to reach out to any of the librarians. And then next, I wanted to highlight one of our trial databases, but I wanted to show you how to actually get to it. So I chose the environmental studies drop-down option in the database list page. When you scroll down here, you will actually find that GeoRef option. But to the right is where we have our new and our trial databases. So these are cycling through at different times. But right now we have one called Social Explorer. And if you go to the next slide, this is the interface for that. And this one allows you to look up different types of demographic information down to the zip code level. So it really is kind of like a geographic resource in terms of looking up demographic information. So just wanted to highlight that database.
And I like to say that this is a trial.
Yes.
So that means that we need to use it.
We need you to use
so
it.
that we can get feedback. And if you use it, then we might keep it.
Yes.
And a little bit of foreshadowing. We will have our head of acquisitions on one of our episodes in the future. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. And she'll go over how to make requests for resources, books, databases, anything that you might want to see, and anything you might want to possibly get a trial for, and, make a case to keep some of the trials that we do have.
And how you can have a voice in the acquisitions at the library.
Absolutely.
If you need something and you're going to use it, that's a key point.
Yes.
If you need something and you're going to use it, then there are avenues for you to have a contribution to the decision-making in the library.
Yes. So just as another note on the databases that are useful for geography, that environmental studies list has those, we'll highlight the databases, that are useful on the science side. But similar to Social Explorer, we do have a database called Demographics Now, which will highlight much of the same information. So if you were looking for geography from a social standpoint, you can look into the Demographics Now database. Sorry. I'm tongue-tied today. All right, so what is happening in the VLC?
Oh, well, what's happening in the VLC is we're excited because we've been promised since September to have an upgrade in the VLC. And
Upgrades are coming.
Upgrades are coming,
right.
and I think we're closer to it. Everything is a process. However, I've got some really good news that I probably shouldn't share.
Let's wait on it. Let's wait.
But the VLC is getting an upgrade. I'm really happy about that. And I would like to invite all of the students and faculty, if you have students that you want to send to the VLC, we do have a virtual reality club. It's the UNF VR Club. It's a RSO on campus. We have changed our meeting date. We used to meet on Wednesdays from 11 to 1, but now we're meeting from 2 to 4 on Fridays. That seems to be the most popular time. We did a poll, and the students in the club, we have about 30 or 40 members, and they decided to meet on Fridays, which is better because the VLC is closed, so it's exclusive access to the VLC on Fridays from 2 to 4. So if you have anyone who wants to join, please send them on Friday from 2 to 4, and they can join in Perch Portal and come on Friday because you have to be a member in order to come.
All right.
Okay. Now, the VR experience that I'm highlighting today is Archeo. I did a little playthrough. Andy, if you would cue that. This is how you get to it. It's an application that you can access on Meta or Steam, and it is a graphic design software, but it's also used by our GIS professors when they go out and get like scans of areas or drone shots. They'll bring it to the VLC, and they'll put it in Archeo and put it on that table. Now, Archeo also has sample scenes, like if you want to bring your students in to practice how to get on the table and walk around in buildings. I've had construction management classes come and import their drawings into Archeo and walk around in the building. Our Library VR champion that I'm going to be showing today brings his class every semester to use this program.
Nice.
And come with their own drone footage, and they bring it in, and they go on the table and walk around and film themselves walking around a certain area. You can use that, or you can create a blank slate just by clicking that other blue tablet right there, and then you can create your own things. You can import using those buttons right there, import, and you can also export it, and you export it as an OBJ or other file formats. Revit, you can import Revit files, and you can also, it has Unity there. I've never used it with Unity, but I think that's a new button. But this is the Archeo VR program, and that's how you would bring your file in, and then you touch the green part of that table, and then whatever you import goes onto that table. It's a little tricky to use. As you see, I went inside of the table, but it is a good program to use. Thank you.
All right.
And our library VR champion, I
All
mentioned
right.
before, is Dr. Chris Baynard. He is a GIS professor, and every semester he calls me last minute. Can I bring my class in tomorrow? But that's okay. I'm very accommodating, and I'm happy to accommodate Dr. Baynard when he brings his class to the VLC. Andy, if you would cue that video. Hello, everyone. I'm here with Dr. Chris Baynard. He is a professor in GIS, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Chris Baynard, Associate Professor of GIS and Geospatial Technologies in the Department of Economics and Geography in the Coggin College of Business.
And he is our library VR champion for this episode. Chris, can you tell us how you became interested in using immersive tech?
It all goes back to drones and being able to use them to study landscape changes related to energy development out west. And at the time, we had some Russian partners we were working with on international grants. And so one way to record and understand the landscapes was to fly drones and capture imagery. So it began with that. And then with that software, once you stitch the imagery together, you can create 3D models, which is part of what brought us all here together. Okay. And once the 3D models came into being, that was very exciting.
Yes. So how have you used augmented reality or virtual reality at UNF in your work?
Oh, in my work, so back to especially the oil and gas industry, being able to visit oil and gas well pads where the oil is extracted out of the ground, and capturing imagery using drones and other methods like pole photography and even kite photography to create a way to manage assets in the field so that the regulators, which is the National Forest Service, could use our imagery data sets and conduct environmental surface inspections using drone imagery, 3D models, 360 photography, and therefore reduce the need for them having to go out in the field. That's where it all began. But we're also doing work here in Northeast Florida, so working with professors in the College of Engineering and Biology, we're monitoring oyster habitats. They're building and establishing oyster beds to ameliorate or reduce the amount of erosion that's happening along shorelines as a way to create a natural barrier shoreline as opposed to the traditional bric-a-brac or cement.
I've seen the oyster beds that you did with the Matterport camera.
Yes.
I saw them. They can be seen at the Research Technology Services website as a virtual tour.
And Dr. Sindelar has really taken the ball and run with this, especially with the Matterport camera and the outdoor information and the 360 views.
She's one of our VR champions as well.
Oh,
I just haven't gotten her own camera.
You're next.
Yes. What are your future plans in using VR in your research or in your instruction?
We really want to perfect, if that's such a word in this case, the real estate walkthrough perspective, where we're taking 360 images captured with high resolution cameras and stitching them together into what you're used to seeing, which is a real estate walkthrough. You click from one room to the next. And as you stop, you're able to rotate completely and see the room where you are. Now, the cameras we're using don't provide high enough spatial resolution, especially if you're outside. So we're trying to perfect that by getting high quality lenses and cameras and software and processes that are quite cumbersome and time consuming. But that's our goal, to create this immersive way that you could conduct environmental surface inspections or whatever it is using that imagery and data sets.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me how you see the VLC.
Oh, without this equipment, we'd still be just looking at our phone and 3D models on the computer screen. This is the way to go, and I'm so glad that you're here. I think more students should take advantage of this and get the skills that they need for this 21st century jobs. It's just the way things are going.
Thank you so much, Chris. And
Well,
this
thank you
is
for
Dr.
having me.
Chris Baynard, our library VR champion. Yes, that's Dr. Baynard.
Well, thank you, Dr. Baynard.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I love that he brings his class every semester, several of them, his graduate level classes and his regular class. And they always come. They use Google Earth, which we've shown before, and they also use Archeo.
Okay, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember, if any of you faculty members would like to be a VR champion, bring your class to the VLC or come for your own personal or professional projects that you may be interested in incorporating
Yes, let me
virtual
say
reality
this.
into.
Fridays from 11 to 1 is faculty drop-in. So if you want to come and try out the VLC, on Fridays, I'm sitting in my office waiting for you to come and try out VR. We're getting those upgraded headsets and upgraded computers soon. So come to the VLC. Look at the layout. Let's talk about how we can bring 30, 40 students into the VLC at one time. And I've done that. So come on to the VLC on Fridays. It's faculty drop-in from 11 to 1.
All right. So what are we talking about next week?
Oh, next week, which is our fun
next
week.
episode, yes.
We're talking about theater. Theater resources in the library.
Awesome.
Yes.
How exciting. Okay, well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Instruction Request. Remember that if you need help, you can always schedule a research consultation, and you can always schedule an instruction request.
Ugh.